Welcome back, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me today. Corporate debt defaults are looming, and with them, there is a tremendous risk to the United States economy. Jeffrey Gundlach, the so-called bond king and CEO of Double Line Capital, has just sent a clear message to markets. He said, speculative grade debt is no longer worth the risk. At the Bloomberg Global Credit Forum that just took place this past week, he revealed that Double Line has reached its lowest ever allocation to high-yield bonds. May it be a sign that corporate defaults are looming? Well, a simple answer to that is absolutely. Now let's break it down. Investors have been gradually pulling back from high yield and other sub-investment grade debt over the past 2 years. And according to Gundlach, the reason is very simple. He says investors are not being compensated for the risks that they're taking. And the risks, of course, as we well understand, are actually piling up from inflation to tariffs to geopolitical conflicts that are literally happening in multiple places at once. According to Gundlach, the spreads, or in other words, risk premiums on U.S. high-yield bonds are currently hovering around 3 percentage points. That might not sound alarming on its own, of course, but as I typically say, context matters. The 2-decade average is closer to 4.9%. In fact, current spreads are near their lowest level since just before the 2008 financial crisis. What that tells you is this: junk bond investors today are taking nearly the same risk as in the past decades, but they are getting paid a lot less for it. And historically, that's not a great setup. Eventually, Gundlach believes there will be a market correction, a major one, and at that point, he says, it will make sense to go bargain hunting. But for now, he says, it is a waiting game because the United States economy is indeed on a downward spiral. He's not alone in sounding the alarm, by the way. JP Morgan CEO Jamie Dimon made very similar comments this past week, and he warned that if he were running a fund, he said he wouldn't really be touching credit markets right now. Then Josh Easterly, who is the co-founder of Sixth Street Partners, echoed that sentiment as well. And they're actually not fringe opinions anymore. They're coming from very, they're coming from experts in global finance.